We're here with Brian from the Front Bottoms, man, and I've got to say I'm loving the CD. The self-titled.
Oh, man, thank you.
Yeah, it's so good, man. So good.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I've got to ask, though, my friends, we were talking about it, and I've got to ask you guys about the name. A friend of mine said the Front Bottom is a euphemism for woman's, is that where it came from, or is that?
I got the name from a movie called Sexy Beast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good movie. It's with Ben Kingsley, and he's talking about, he's like on an airplane, and the flight attendant is touching him and touching his front bottoms. And I had never heard the term used before, and I just got kind of a kick out of it. So I called Matt up, and I was like, hey, how about we call our band this? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Awesome.
And, like, I got to be honest, like, I never really thought, like, we would get to the point where people were like, so what's the deal with that name?
Yeah.
But it's all good, It's funny. I get a kick out of it. And it's either, like, love or hate. People are like, oh, I love that name, or they're like, oh, why would you name your band that? But either way, it's all good.
What's memorable. So,
exactly. There you go.
Yeah, that's the point. I read online that you guys started out kind of considering yourself a punk band, but then now you don't really anymore. Even though a lot of people still compare you to bands like Defiance Ohio and Andrew Jackson Jihad, especially vocally. Or were those guys influences for you?
They were absolutely influences. And, like, I kind of say sometimes, maybe not musically influenced, but, like, mindset influence. Like, I definitely think we're, like, a punk band in terms of the way that we get things done and, like, DIY attitude about things. So, like, maybe the music might develop and people might not think it's, like, punk music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably agree with them, but I still think that the way that we go about things, like, we still book all the tours DIY, and we still play basements and stuff. So I think maybe the mindset that we have is definitely a punk mindset.
Awesome. It definitely comes through in the music and in the lyricism and the storytelling.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's something we try to focus very much on.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the songs off the self-titled, it came off of your previous EP, Slow Dance to Soft Rock.
Yeah.
It feels like there's an overall story, an overall narrative on the album. Would you consider it kind of a concept album, or?
I don't know if I'd call it a concept album, but like, you're definitely right in saying that there is, like, a continuing theme and, like, a continuing character, or, like, a group of characters that sort of are going through situations. It is pretty constant on the album, so I don't know if I'd call it a concept album, but it definitely has, like, a fluidness about it, which is nice that you picked up on that, definitely.
Well, yeah, it's awesome. It's so good. But again, we're here with Brian from the Front Bottoms. Their self-titled came out on Bar None. Came out, what, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I think September 6th.
September 6th.
A few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, we got to hear a little bit early, so I got to dig my teeth into it early, and I'm
very nice.
Absolutely blew me away. How's the road treating you guys?
Treating us very good. The road's something that me and Matt kind of live for. When we're home, it's just kind of like, oh, God, we're working these terrible jobs, and we're just trying to make enough money to get back out on the road. But when we're on the road, it's just like every single day is an adventure. No. You're meeting people that, you never would have met if you were sitting on your couch at home. So, like, at this point right now, we're just waiting to get back out. We're hustling, making some money, and then, but we absolutely cannot wait to come back out on the road.
You guys do landscaping or something, don't you?
Yeah. Actually, I used to work at a grocery store, and Matt got a landscaping company that did, like, a lot of construction and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came back from the road, I actually decided not to go back to the grocery store. And I've been working with Matt, and it is backbreaking work. It's like 12-hour days, but it's all right. It keeps you active.
Yeah, definitely better playing music, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I was on you guys' website and looking through some of your road videos that you have, and I saw the one where cops busted up into, like, a house party or something you guys were doing, and people were threatening to get arrested. What the hell was that about, man?
Yeah, man, that was a crazy night. That was actually the first night of the tour, of our last tour. It was in Philly. We were supposed to start the tour a day after, but instead we were like, you know what, why don't we just go down to Philly? We'll, like, contact some of the people we know down there. We'll get them to throw, like, a house party, and we'll play it, because that's always, like, a good time. Everybody has fun. And we got down there, and there was, like, so many more people than we had thought, because we didn't even really advertise the show at all. And the cops came by a couple times, and they were like, just keep people off of the street, don't act too crazy and everything. But, like, the amount of people, like, it wasn't able to be contained inside of a house. So we were just, like, in the back hanging out, and, like, all of a sudden there's, like, a banging on the back window, and we were like, oh, this is just, like, some drunk kid, no big deal. But it was actually a kid that owned the house. And he was, like, trying to tell us to, like, lock the doors and, like, shut all the lights off.
Man.
But, like, by that time they were, like, in the house, and they just did the whole cop thing, like, the tough guy cop thing. They came in, they put people in handcuffs and stuff. And, like, me and Matt and actually Drew, the kid that's been playing with us, like, we're all of age, and we weren't doing anything crazy. So we kind of just walked right out of the house. And the one kid that we were with the camera, he literally, like, stood in the kitchen, probably, like, 3 feet away from all the cops, going crazy on these kids. And he just filmed the entire entire thing. It was nuts. Yeah, it was crazy. They didn't tell them to stop or anything. I guess because they were like nervous there was a camera or something, but they didn't hold back. Yeah, so that's the way that show ended. And then we just went out onto the street, and there was like all these kids, and the one kid was like, "You guys can come play at our house." So, we went like a couple blocks down and just continued the show at somebody else's house. It was definitely a good way to start the tour.
Definitely. Great way to kick it off. And that's the great thing about having the punk mindset, like you were talking about, playing house parties and stuff. It's really loose, and you can just kind of go from house to house playing.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's pretty easy doing that, just being the two of you. But I know that you guys have had stand-in kind of bassist keyboard. Are you planning on going back to the 3-person setup?
Actually, yeah. We our very good friend who used to record all of our demos, his name is Drew, and he has been playing in the band, and he will continue to play, be like, like a live musician and a studio musician, just to fill out the sound, because he's a phenomenal musician, and he's just a really good time to have on the road, and, he's down to have a good time, down to party and stuff, so he fits in really nicely, so we just we bring him along, and he's nice enough to tag along with us and play the shows, and it definitely does something nice for our live sound.
Awesome. Has he been adding into any, maybe writing new material and stuff? Because you guys have an album coming out next year, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. I mean, I'm not sure, like, the date-wise, but we're going to start writing when we get back from the tour, November 25th, we get back, and then we'll be writing new material, and he'll definitely contribute to the new material.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, again, we're here with Brian from the Front Bottoms. If you haven't heard their self-titled CD, definitely pick it up at their shows. They're playing Masquerade in Atlanta, Purgatory on November 2nd, and I'm going to be there. I'm
awesome.
So excited to see you guys live. I've seen some live stuff, and you guys seem really energetic and really great live.
Yeah, we definitely try to make sure everybody that's there has a good time.
Are you guys surprised by how quickly the CD's taken off?
Yeah, we were. We've been doing it for kind of a long time, and this was just like, these next group of songs was just like the next group of songs that we were going to release, and, for some reason they kind of, I guess word of mouth, people started digging it a little harder, and we just kept doing what we were doing, playing shows, and it's just rewarding to know that people are enjoying it as much as they are, and it's really the only reason why me and Matt do it, is for like people to have a good time.
Well, it's definitely making the rounds around here. We've just been
very cool.
Passing the CD around the radio station and to our friends and everything, and everyone.
Oh, well, we really appreciate that. Really, thank you.
Everyone who gets their hands on it is just loving on it. So,
awesome.
All right, well, one final question for you, man. What are you guys listening to right now? What are you digging on?
What are we listening to? Let's see. Well, when we were on the road, we played the show, and the kid who put on the show, after the show, we were all just drinking, having a good time, and he started telling me the story of Jeff Hansen, who had put on a show for him, and then like a month after that tour had ended, he had actually passed away. So it was like pretty sad story, but I was like, let me check out this Jeff Hansen guy, and I've been listening to him, and I just totally love it. He has like a super, super high voice, and it's like kind of weird music, but that's what I've been listening to. I love him, Jeff Hansen, and then also like recently got back into, the guy from Alkaline Trio had a side project called Heaven. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they only released that one album, and I had listened to it a lot when it came out, and like I just found it again on my iPod, and I was like, I'm going to start listening to this. So like the past few days, that's all I've been listening to.
Yeah, I've got a hold of that CD because he did a cover of, I think, a Hot Water Music song.
Oh, very cool.
And released it as Heavens, and it was amazing.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I got to check that.
But definitely a great CD. Well, that's all I got for you, man, and thanks for talking, seriously.
Hey, dude, thank you so much, for real.
Again, this is Brian from the Front Bottoms, Masquerade Purgatory, November 2nd. I cannot say it enough. I'm so stoked to see you guys. It's literally, your CD has been my number one of this month so far. It's way up there on my list for number one of the year.
Oh my gosh, dude, we're totally honored. Thank you.
So we'll see how everything turns out, but you guys are definitely the lead horse. So
very cool.
Thanks for talking to us, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.